Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Thursday, December 19th, 2024. Let's take a look at the big picture. Actually, what I'm going to show is that on Tuesday, we tested this weekly channel bottom at 126.89, part of a range down to 123.54 that can absorb selling through January into February. And from here, we can round up into the 160s. Now, on the daily chart, we did not actually test it. We came close to 125.89, but we did not test it. But I'm going to call this a test. We can continue testing it. I'm going to call it a test because we actually did test it on the weekly chart. But it really is the daily chart that I like to use for fine tuning, if you will, and it is 123.49 to 125.89 that I think is in reach today and can absorb selling, as I say, through January, and above which I'm looking for the right chart right now, above which it really is this 163.09 roughly channel top that I see as kind of a 1 to 2 month target. For right now, we have 145.67, which I think this is the good image here. This is your 2 to 3 week time frame. Bottom picking 123.49 to 125.89 in anticipation of 145.67. Now, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I now expect 145.67 anyway as a 2 to 3 month objective. Sorry, 2 to 3 week objective. This following the testing on Tuesday of that 126.89 channel support, the beginning of a range down to 123.54 on the weekly chart. But on the daily chart, it comes in a little different, as you're well aware, and that is at 123.49 to 125.89. So, we throw these weekly chart levels out because they can't really be ignored. In fact, oftentimes they are those levels that contain buying and selling. But I do throw a lot of numbers at you. They're marginally different. 123.49 to 125.89 is your area for today, for Thursday, that can absorb selling through January, and above which 145.67 remains a 2 to 3 week objective. And over the next month or two, I would say, I'm expecting this rising channel top that I'm looking for right now here at 163.09. I don't want to spend a lot of time at 163.09, but just know that after having tested channel support already this week on the weekly chart, once again, 145.67, a 2 to 3 week target, 163.09, kind of a 1 to 2 month objective. And if we happen to push through, close above 145.67, say by the end of next week, then we're just another 2 to 3, 3 to 5 weeks away from reaching 163.09, where we could top out on a monthly basis. And that is kind of the big picture. Let's take a look at the day itself. We do have this channel top worth mentioning once again. We pushed through that just a bit on Wednesday. It's at 134.06 today. I think your day trade setup is really selling 134.06 and buying back at 125.89. In fact, you could buy at 125.89. You could buy double the amount, really reverse and go long, and all the way down to 123.49. This is your area to buy into through January, and above which we are still anticipating 145.67 over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And as I've already said, the low 160s and climbing over the next 1 to 2 months. Upside today, if we happen to close above 134.06, that is a 3 to 5 day buy signal into this important zone of resistance that begins at 142.74 and ends at 145.67. This descending channel top can contain buying through next week, and from here we could fall back into what is now the low to mid 120s within 2 to 3 weeks. We could fill out this wedge between 123.49 and 145.67 well into January activity before the market tips its hand in one direction or another. If we were to close today or any day this week below 123.49, we have a sell signal, 3 to 5 days down to 114.45, 3 to 5 weeks down to 101.47. So don't be long NVIDIA if your time frame is inside of 3 to 5 weeks and we wind up closing below 123.49. If you can be, you actually want to be short under that scenario, anticipating 101.47. If we close below 123.49, you may consider reaching for 102 straight. strike out of the money, puts that don't expire for at least a couple of months on that 3 to 5 week likelihood. But until then, as we're testing the low 120s, 123.49 to 125.89, you may consider reaching for 160, 165, 170 strike out of the money calls. Perhaps even 180 strike out of the money calls. This 1 year channel top in reach within, I'm just going to say 2 to 3 months or sooner of continued testing of this 123.49 to 125.89 region. Once again, if we close below 123.49 today, it is get short and stay short into January. The low 100s expected. 101.47, significant long-term support, able to contain selling into the second quarter. And from here, we could, within 3 to 5 months, maybe a little longer, round up to new highs again with following a testing of 101.47. Let's go back to this chart. If we happen to rally, push through 134.06, that session containment descending channel top, 138.37 is likely. Simple speed line coming off that high. But once again, closing above 134.06. I am expecting within 3 to 5 days the 142.74 to 145.67 area. If you went long on Tuesday when we actually tested channel support, you may be holding out for the 142.74 to 145.67 area. This is the zone 2 to 3 week swing traders for taking profits, and consider playing the short side over the same time frame back into the 120s and climbing. This narrowing wedge we can fill out well into January. Once again, if we close above 145.67, it is get out of the way and stay long, get long into the 160s and climbing over the following 2 to 3 to 5 weeks. Is there anything else to say? I will mention that we do have, of course, where is it? Do we show it? Yes, we do. 129.13. You know, we've taken out for 2 days in a row. I'll let you play it as you see it. It is a legitimate 3/8 Fibonacci. So, you know, well suited for aggressive day traders, but obviously not well suited for, you know, the day trader who's looking for the trade of the day or the 3 to 5 day swing trader. But it can't be ignored. If you're wondering why during the middle of the day the market keeps hesitating at 129 and change, low 129 handle resistance, it's probably because of that 3/8 Fibonacci. If we open clearly above it, 134.06 in reach. If we open below it, the 123.49 to 125.89 region. I think that pretty much rounds it out. I am going to leave it at that for Thursday's NVIDIA report. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of that 5-day free trial. You'll be able to see this week's stock pick earlier this week in Uber. We have another one coming out today. You'll see it hot off the press if you go to wickedstocks.com. You got 5 days, no cost to you whatsoever. I'm going to leave it at that. I will be back tomorrow with Friday's NVIDIA. You have a great day.